Hello, Year 7, and welcome to today's lesson. To start off with a knowledge retrieval task. Over the course of this block, we've looked at a number of words, 20 in fact, and I've asked you over the course of the block to learn what these words mean. They're all words that are in knowledge organisers, and we've spent lessons, 5 or 6 lessons actually, learning about these words. I want you to see how many you can remember. So I've got the words voyage, foreboding, talisman, supernatural, retribution, tormented, vast, secluded, abyss, archaic, oddity, unfathomable, perish, patriarchy, inferior, rigid, restricted, entrapment, injustice, and shackled. So it should take you about 10 minutes to work through those words and write out what each of them mean. What are the definitions of those words? So pause this presentation, write out as many as you can remember, leave blank the ones that you can't. When you've done that, and only when you've done that, move on to the next slide. And here are the answers. A voyage is a long journey, typically involving travel by sea. Foreboding is a feeling that something bad will happen. A talisman is an object believed to bring good luck to its owner and ward off evil. Supernatural are events that cannot be explained by nature or science. Retribution is a punishment inflicted on someone for a wrong or criminal act. Tormented means experiencing severe mental or physical suffering. Vast means extremely big or large. Secluded means a place not seen by many people. A secluded place is isolated, sheltered, and private. An abyss is an extremely deep or bottomless hole. Archaic means very old. Oddity, strange and unusual person or thing. Unfathomable, not able to be completely understood. Perish means to suffer death, ruin, or destruction. The patriarchy, a society in which men hold all the power and women are excluded from that power. Inferior, lower in rank and social status. Rigid means not able to be changed, literally something which is inflexible. Restricted, something which is limited in some way, often held back. Entrapment, the state of being caught or trapped. Injustice means a lack of fairness. Shackled means the act of being confined or restrained. Tick the ones that you got right, and the ones that you didn't get right, you can add in. Today you are going to do a piece of creative writing, and we're going to think in particular about mood and emotion. The way you're going to do this writing is slightly different from normal. I'm going to leave that as a bit of a cliffhanger, but the idea is that you are going to write something in about 15 or 20 minutes, which is very creative in terms of its consideration of emotion and mood. So that is the plan for today. When we're writing to describe, we need to think about description. Of course we do. We need to think about the big picture. We need to think about the whole situation that we're seeing, the whole sequence of events. We need to zoom in and think about how individual objects, people, things are dealing with the situation that they're in. And in particular, we need to think about emotions. And remember, you can use devices like personification to give emotions to objects that wouldn't normally have emotions, like, for example, ships or animals. And so thinking about the emotional response of your characters and the other things involved can be really important. And different words can connote different moods, even though they are similar. They're not quite the same. In particular, I'd like you to think about your choice of words to create emotion and mood. So we need to think about our vocabulary. We're going to create a piece of writing which includes emotions and moods. We do need some vocabulary. So what I'm going to ask you to do is create a mood board of words. I want you to think of these three words: peaceful, frightened, and tense. I want you to come up with as many words as you can to describe each of these moods. The words that link to peaceful, words that link to frightened, words that link to tense. I want you to try and come up with at least 5 for each mood. And there is a table on the next slide that you can use to help organize your work, or you can simply bullet point a list using those words as your titles. So, for example, with peaceful, you might have words like calm or relaxed. With frightened, words like scared and terrified. Tense, words like worried or nervous. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to come up with at least 3 more words that link to peaceful, at least 3 more words that link to frightened, at least 3 more words that link to tense. And then when you've done that, I'd like to move on to the next slide. Your piece of writing is going to be based on a piece of music, and the music represents a voyage through a storm. And you are going to write as you're listening to the music. So what you need to do is you need to think, before I play you the track, what you need to do is you need to think about the basic information: who, what, where, when, why. Who is going to be involved? Now you need to think, these are characters on the sea in a storm. Who might be on the sea in a storm? What might they be doing? Why? What are they involved in? They're on a ship. Is it a sailing ship? Is it a cruise ship? Is it a military ship? Is it a merchant ship? Where are they? They're obviously on the sea. Are they in the Pacific and the Atlantic? Are they in the middle of the sea? Are they far from land? When are you going to set your writing? Is it going to be now? Is it going to be in the past? Is it going to be in the future? Why are they on the sea? Why are they undertaking this voyage? Do they have to? Are they exploring? Are they at war? Are they on a trading mission? So spend about 5 minutes answering those questions: who, what, where, when, and why. And then think about how your story is going to work. It's going to be calm to start with. So you'll need to think about the weather. You'll need to think about the weather before the storm. And then how will the storm build? Think about how a character, one of your characters, feels as the storm builds. What emotions do they go through? And then describe what happens to the characters as the situation becomes more tense, the weather changes, as it gets worse. So I'd like to spend about 10 minutes planning out your story. Think about who is going to be involved, what they're doing, where are they, when is it set, why are they on the sea? Answer those questions. Think about how you're going to present the beginning as calm. Think about which character you're going to focus on. Think about how you're going to describe the weather. And then when you're ready, move on to the next slide. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because the piece of music lasts about 15 minutes and it is going to start when I've finished speaking. At least I hope it does. If it doesn't, then what you're going to have to do is going to have to go back into the assignment and click on the YouTube link. But hopefully the music will start playing. And then what you need to do is you need to write whilst the music is playing. And the mood of the music will change over the course of the piece, and you need to use that to help guide your writing. Now, if you find the music is going a little bit too fast, then pause the presentation, allow your writing to catch up. But try and use the music to inspire your writing. And this will take you pretty much the rest of the lesson, I think, most of it anyway. So, as you're listening to the music, write your story, write your creative piece about the storm. And the track is going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. hopefully now you have a completed piece of writing. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to review what you've done, and I'd like you to do a keep it, bin it, build it. And that means highlighting your work using 3 colors, or underlining it using 3 different colors, or annotating it in some way. Keep it are the ones, the ideas you think are fine and you don't need to change. Bin it are the ideas that you think are weak and really didn't work. And chances are you have a few of those because of the way you've written this. Build it are ideas that you think that need to be developed. And then what I'd like you to do is with your build it, I'd like you to pick at least 2 of those, and I'd like you to improve those using green pen. When you've done that, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to photograph your work. You should have your knowledge retrieval task of the words. You should have your words about frightening, tense, and calm. You should have your planning for your story, and then you should have your completed story, which has been highlighted as a keep it, build it, bin it exercise. Please photograph your work. Make sure that you have uploaded your work too. Please make sure it's attached. Turn it in, and then that is it.